Hello and welcome to the Digital Alchemist podcast. And today's episode will answer the question, is it too late to start a web design business
today?
Hello, I'm your host Casino. I'm the Digital Alchemist, and today we'll answer the question of whether or not it's too late to start a web design business. So I got 3 points I would like to develop in today's episode. And the first point is that I've heard that since I started in web design, and that was a long time ago. And especially ever since the first website creation tools appeared, people kept saying, yeah, that job is going to disappear. And at the time it was called webmaster. And people used to say, yeah, webmasters are not going to last. And maybe they didn't last, but we're still here today with other names like web designer, web developers, UI designers, UI developers, UX, and so on. You get the idea. So, like I said, first it was like with GeoCities, and I forgot the other ones, or software. And then when Wix appeared, people said the same thing. Then it was WordPress. And first people were laughing at WordPress. They said it's just for blogging, it's not for websites. And then within WordPress, when the first premium themes appeared, people got scared. After the premium themes, it was the layouts. Then it was the page builders. And eventually the theme builders, which is what we have now. And probably with the next iteration, it's going to be exactly the same thing. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not scared. I really think that web design is here to stay, but the landscape is changing and you need to adapt. Now, that reminds me of the debate between radio and TV. Now, a long time ago,
and I was not born,
when TV was invented, people said, okay, radio's finished, right? But look at today. Is radio finished? Honestly, not at all. When you take your car or when you commute, many people listen to radio, and radio stations had to adapt to the landscape. So what happens now is that many radio stations keep on streaming just the normal way, but they have podcasts, and sometimes they even also stream on the internet. So even though the landscape has changed, people use radio and podcasts on a different level and a different way that they used to. Before TV was there, radio was everything. It was the internet of then. It was the way to get in touch with people, even though it was a one-way direction for most of the people listening to the shows, but still people could be in one place and hear news from the industry or from the world actually. And then TV came, and then they had the image with it, and eventually we got the internet, and we get the best of both worlds. Now we could go back even further in time. Think about painters. When the first photo cameras appeared, people said, yeah, we don't need anyone to paint anything anymore. I mean, they're going to be out of a job. Now, sure, maybe we have less people painting today, but think about it. The painters today, they are exposed in art galleries. I mean, not all of them, granted. And I know it's hard to get your name out there, but what I'm saying is we still have people painting today. We still have art galleries. And if you think about the artists, and not just the painters, but the artists, it used to be tough. The saying was, if you're an artist, you're going to be a starving artist. But look at what we have today. We have print on demand, so people can actually sell their art in a different way. And I think that's an opportunity. So there's two ways you can look at it. When something new comes in, you can say, oh, we're doomed, and what's the point? Or you can adapt to the landscape. And that's what we have to do with web design. And that brings me to my second point. And my second point is that it's actually an opportunity. Because let's look at the current landscape. So nowadays we have like everybody and their mom start their own web design studio. I think there's enough space for a lot of businesses, great businesses, good businesses, even decent businesses. There's enough customers, enough need for the market. But what happens now is that I see many people, they think okay, web design is easy because you have all those tools. So they all start their own business. Sometimes for good reasons, and they're just going to learn, on the field and get better at it and do one of the best, pursue one of the best careers in the world. But some other people, they just get in there because they think, okay, it's a quick way to make some quick buck. Many people don't know anything about web design and digital, so I can just quickly learn with a tutorial, spend 1 hour and then I create something. I'm just going to sell it. And that's it. That's easy money. The truth is, it's not that easy. If you want to create quality websites, it's not that easy. Now, the downside is that because there are so many people with so little skills, web designers and web studios and web professionals are starting to get a really bad reputation. I can't tell you how many times I landed a client and I could see that they were really skeptical. And that's because they had been misled many times before. They lost a lot of money. So because they didn't know any better, so they took the first freelance that came. And maybe their mistake was also to look at very cheap prices. You get what you pay for. Now, it's not always the case, and I'm not talking down on anyone, but I'm just saying how the market is right now. And to me, that doesn't work out. Like I said, there are two ways to think about that. Either you just need to get started and you need to make money, and maybe that's why you're watching this video or listening to this podcast. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can get better, and you can get better fast, at least faster than when I got started. There was not as many tutorials. There were like literally no free video tutorials. You had to buy books. You had to buy training. Today, you have no excuse. But like I said, it's all about the mindset. If the mindset is just, I want to make a quick buck, that's not going to work out. Now, just think about it. Just imagine that someone who wants to be a doctor because he thinks life is going to be easier, it's going to make good money, but he did not learn anything about being a doctor. And he manages to land a customer, a client, a patient actually, someone who's sick. Could you imagine that a doctor that would go on a private Facebook group and say, hey guys, I just landed this gig with a patient. He's got this disease. Do you know how I can cure that? I'm sorry, but that's what I see in the Facebook groups. Now, there's nothing wrong with asking questions, but what I found weird is that people go and literally BS customers and tell them, yeah, I can help you. But they have no clue, not even, they don't even want to Google the solution. They will come into the Facebook group and they didn't even spend 5 minutes trying to look for a solution. They want you, me, us to give them the solution. They don't know anything. But in the meantime, maybe they already took some money from that customer. So I think there's something wrong with that. You could say the same thing with a lawyer. Just imagine a lawyer that, is not a lawyer. He just pretends he's a lawyer, tells people, yeah, I can help you. Of course, I can defend you. But he has no experience practicing the rule of law. Would you trust someone like that? How would you feel if you paid someone like that and at the end of the day, you lose everything? Or just imagine a judge, someone who says that he or she is a judge, but has no judgment, not even common sense. That wouldn't work out. Just imagine that you land a job as a film director, like you're the new Spielberg. But the truth is, you don't even know how to use the camera on your phone. And then you're on a set with the actors and everything. That wouldn't work out. So why would it work out for web design? Now, it's not all doom and gloom. The thing is, we all start somewhere. There's nothing wrong with not knowing anything. Maybe you should be upfront. You should look for your first client. You should look for people close to you and say, listen, I'm learning this stuff, so I'm not promising you that it's going to be magical and all working out from the get-go, but I would really work hard on your website. to give me the opportunity. And some people are going to appreciate that. Not everybody. Many people are going to say, no way. But if you find someone that says, okay, I'm going to trust you, that's going to help you, and you're going to be upfront. You're going to get better at it way faster. So how do you get better? Well, I got my own little method that I call ORC. So it's observe, reproduce, and then create. So by observe, I mean you really need to spend some time when you're getting started. And even when you're a professional, I keep on doing it to this day. Try to spend 15 minutes every day just looking at beautiful branding, beautiful websites. Try to understand, take some notes. Why do you like that? And the more you get experience, the less you will need to actually write that down. But you need to do it. Then reproduce. Just reproduce what you see. Copy. I'm not saying you're going to copy and sell that work. It's just for you, just to learn. Reproduce what you've seen in the observation phase. What do you like? What do you enjoy? Try to reproduce that. And you're going to get better way faster than just learning the normal way. And then finally, create. Once you've observed enough and you get that routine, you keep on observing what's going on in the industry, you know how to reproduce. Now it's time to bring in your own touch and start creating. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. Now, for my third and last point in today's podcast, I'm going to ask a question to myself, and I'm going to answer it for you. What would I do if I had to start from scratch today? Well, first of all, even though there are many platforms, I will still learn the basics. I will take 1 month. I will learn HTML and CSS. That's really easy. Then I will look a few videos and try to understand how JavaScript works. JavaScript can take way longer to learn, but at least I would understand how it works. And I would do the same thing for PHP, the programming language, or any other programming language, but in my case, I would go PHP, MySQL for the database, and then I would try to understand the relationship between PHP and MySQL. I'm not talking about becoming a full-fledged developer. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just understanding how it works. Then I will learn a software like Photoshop or Affinity Photo, or it could be the GIMP. If you don't have the budget, there are many free tools. Now, the next step is that I would decide on a tech stack for the web. So you could decide to go from scratch. You could decide to go with tools like Webflow. You could decide to go with tools like WordPress. In my case, I'll probably go with WordPress, which is what I'm using now. And then once you've decided which platform you're going to work on, or if you're going to work from scratch, but once you've decided, you need to take it a step further. So in my case, once I've decided, okay, I'm going to work with WordPress, I would choose one theme and one theme only for most of my projects. So I know it in and out. Then I would choose one theme builder. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but you're going to have to test it. So you need to spend some time testing to the best of your resources, because it's not possible to buy each and every license. But some tools have trial licenses, and if not, you can also watch a lot of videos on YouTube. Try to get a feel for what you prefer. And once you've selected a theme builder, try to find a add-on pack. Many theme builders have great quality add-on packs that extend the possibilities of the theme builder. And I would start with one, a quality one that would cover enough of the needs I would have. Once again, there are many reviews online, so you can get an idea, and you can always ask advice in Facebook groups. You know, when you've already done your research, people are going to appreciate that you've done your research. Then you come and ask a question. It's different than not even having research and just asking for answers. The next step is I will need to get some quality materials like photos and videos. And the great thing of our era is that there are many free tools. Like for photos, you have Unsplash, you have Pixabay. You have similar websites for stock video, even for illustrations. Now, if you want to go premium, I will go with Envato Elements. It's impossible to beat the value you get for, like, I don't know, it's between $16 to $20, $25. I don't know, depending on when they have promotions. And for that, you get millions of assets, videos, photos, lots, Photoshop actions, plugins. So I would go with that. Then I would start building my portfolio, and I've already covered that in another video. But basically, if I have no client, no portfolio, I would pick 3 businesses in my local area. And I would ask them, would you like me to redesign your website? I will do it for free, but this is the value it would have cost you. I'm willing to do it for free if you let me decide on the design, because I want this to be in my portfolio. So I need to have the power of decision for the design. And the second thing is that you will not disclose the fact that it was made for free. You do that with a simple contract, and then you can get started. You might get a lot of no's, but you will eventually get some yeses. So you only need 3. And then once I've got my portfolio, I will start networking face to face. I will go to local networking events, because that works way better than going on Upwork or Fiverr or those kind of websites, because everybody's there. You need to be elsewhere. And once I land clients, I will really go the extra mile so that they can bring me referrals. And you see that little by little, you get more customers, more money. And that's when you need to invest in yourself, as I often say. But it's not just about money, it's also about time. It could be just investing more time, learning stuff. But now, if you make some money, then try to get better software. Maybe you can get other add-ons that you need for some projects. Maybe you can get better gear, a better computer. Maybe you need to invest in some courses, but don't invest in any courses. There are many scammy courses out there, but get a feel for yourself. Try to, if you follow someone, if you enjoy what they do, follow your instinct. There are great free trainings here on YouTube. It's the best platform for free training here on YouTube. You just need to spend the time. Question of the day. What do you find difficult in starting a web design business today? Please let me know in the comments. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video if you're watching on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Now, you found the link to this podcast in the description. I really hope I see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, don't forget to invest
in your success.